here's the good thing. It's actually perfectly tying together because I've made it very specific. I don't actually, you know what? Spoiler. I used to be a massive fan of Astralis. I'm not a fan of any org guys. Like, unless I know the org owner, like Jack from Cloud9 or Carlos from G. I don't give a fuck what an org does. This isn't like football where I've supported Liverpool my whole life. Like, fucking orgs are the players. And in esports, it's the players. I follow the players. So, spoiler, when dev1ce went to NIP, I gave more fuck about NIP than I did about Astralis. So, I don't have this whole thing that everyone else was like, oh my God, Astralis not in the first ever major. Astralis wasn't the best team since 2019, for fuck's sake. What are you talking about? Like, those days were years ago. Like, remember the previous lineups would probably, they would have been touch and go, but they could have failed too. The ones with Buzz and Altex, and then even before that, Config and Play, these ones were like always on the fence of making it. So people are acting like 1 second before Yabi came, it was fucking prime Astralis, and now he's coming, he just fucked the whole thing up. Like, no, Astralis was always touch and go. So Astralis not being there is not the end of the world. They haven't been that big org for years. They just got that status in Denmark. My problem is this, and there's one name only that it breaks my fucking heart, and it's dev1ce. Because, mate, what did dev1ce do wrong? Someone explain that to me. Did he sell out to the Saudis? Did I miss that? Did he betray Cadian and leave her up? Did I miss that? Did he kick Glitch? Did I miss any of this? As far as I can tell, all this guy did was sit at his PC, watch demos, practice AWPing, over a year, get himself back to literally be one of the best players in the world, and now he was given some good players, and because he himself and all of them have failed, he's not going to be at the last major, even though, by the way, he might actually be the most consistent Counter-Strike player ever to play the game, like ever. Like, that's the real one for me that kills me. It's not that Astralis, it's that dev1ce isn't going to be at this Danish major, mate, and the first CS2 major. Like, aside from his play in this one qualifier, this guy's done nothing wrong. He's actually he's a model professional. He's what every team would fucking want from a star and an AWPer. So that's the one that kills me. I think that's why I just put it as my flat out bad. I think it's just bad for Counter-Strike that dev1ce isn't there. By the way, as a minimum, since they've done it at other majors, please, like, just invite all the players from Astralis that were the legendary light to the major and have them come on stage or present the cup or something. Just do that at a minimum so we can have that cool pop. You know, just be a nice gesture, PGL. What do you guys think anyway?
It's, I mean, yeah, it's a team sport. So unfortunately, dev1ce has just had bad luck with choosing teams lately. I mean, he's, well, the NIP one is kind of weird, obviously, because it's not really like, that didn't go badly because of the team that he was on. Actually.
No, he had some real life shit. Yeah, sure.
External circumstances, obviously, but yeah, the thing, Astralis has failed now in consecutive majors to put forward a lineup that, even with dev1ce, is qualifying, despite the fact that, yeah, dev1ce himself, I mean, he didn't go absolutely crazy at this RMR. In fact, this was kind of one of his weaker events in a while. But in terms of the previous RMR, like, he did pretty damn well for himself, like the one for Paris, and yet him and Astralis didn't qualify for that one either. That one, I think, probably in a weird way hurts more than this one does, because I think dev1ce probably can look towards himself and be like, I didn't play the best individual Counter-Strike. I didn't play the best level at this one, but the way that he lost reminder, he lost at the Paris RMR to NIP, who he had just left and yet he had a stellar game there, and that's when he was still playing with BlameF, Zip, Glaive, and Buzz. So, and overall, like, as an individual, I think he has to top the list right now for players that haven't qualified for the major, because I'm trying to think, like,
it would just be the Falcons players, Magics and stuff, Magics.
It would have been a Falcons player, or obviously Simple didn't try because he wasn't on a team. And then I think you'd probably say like Magisk and dev1ce are the two best players, and maybe you could make a case even for Sun Pius as the three best players right now that didn't make it to this major. So overall, just really disappointing. And I know that you say you don't have any real allegiance to orgs or anything like that. It's not really about that. But I think for Copenhagen, the Copenhagen major, to have the most just like fan reverie and for people to really get excited about it, if Astralis were in that arena, I don't even care because I'm not an Astralis fan, but I know that they would have lit it up for that one.
Sure. Oh, by the way, I'll also say this as well. I should have tied this into the other point. The one angle on dev1ce that I will say goes like this. That is the biggest fucking massive, like, insane red flag that this current lineup of Astralis doesn't work. That it's the only lineup ever that made dev1ce look bad. Bro, he looked dope in the lineups Maui was listening, where, like, you forget, like, Boz, Alltech, Borup, Washed, Zipniks. Like, dude, he had some bad teammates and he was balling out of control. So that's why also I look at this team and I just think, get a coach in IGL, because the easiest player to get back to a good level is going to be dev1ce. But if even he seems uncomfortable in the game, that's a really bad sign. Because I even told him this in DM. I told him, mate, you have never been bad at Counter-Strike one day in your life since you reached the top. So like essentially, like this can't continue. It just can't. It can't.
Yeah, I think he didn't play up to what dev1ce can. But he has some showings, like there was the one round on Vertigo where he like popped off, like killing 3 Spirit guys.
Yep.
They won a round they should never have won, right? So you still saw him popping off left and right.
I mean, I think even in the round that like cost him the game almost, he had like almost did a 1v3 or something. He just got killed on the last kill. So
I think he's not been playing that bad as maybe people make him to, because people look at stats, like they just look at stats. But if Astralis get run over, right? Like they get run over today against 9 Pandas on their CT side on Nuke, right? They lost like 9, was it 8-4 or something like that? And it's hard to be super performing as an AWPer, right? And if you're losing 8-4 on Nuke, how many rounds do you realistically have AWP, etc.? Now I didn't check, right? So, but I also think Nikolai is one of these players who needs good mood and good mentality to be able to play well. And again, I just keep coming back to that, but it looks like a graveyard when you fucking look at them playing, right? And I think that is their number one problem, because it looks like from the outside as well, Yabi and Stown also thrives when there's a good mood. And you saw that against was it Blast, where they beat Vitality and stuff like that? Like, they were good mood. They were winning. It's also easier to have a good mood when you're winning, right? But when you start winning, that snowball rolls, and you're fucking gonna demolish everyone, right? But if you start losing and you don't have someone to lift you up, which it seems like here in the RMR, and like the Runnick, I can't blame him, but he didn't really help much, right? When I saw him, he's standing there like behind, didn't say anything, didn't do anything, right? When they lost, he was like, nice guys. But I don't blame him, right? He's in this new situation, right? But there's no one to come and pick these players up. And if your star player in dev1ce is not enjoying himself, you have a huge ass problem, right? And he is not going to perform to the level you expect if he doesn't enjoy playing, right?
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.